Hey friends, this is week 15 of your kindergarten first and second grade art class, and we are going to be drawing some polar bears. Now, not only are we going to be drawing some polar bears, but we're going to be trying to make them look a little bit 3D, which means they look like they could just pop out of the paper. And we're going to do that by adding shadows. Shadow in a picture is any part where it looks darker because there's not as much light. Like on my face right now, you guys can see there's light coming in from my window, right? So if the light is on this side, the shadows are on this side. So you guys can see how there's different parts of my face, like right here on the side of my nose and on this side that look darker, and some parts that look lighter. So we are going to be using our writing tools to create shadows on parts of our page to create the illusion of something that's three-dimensional. An illusion is like a magic trick. It's when you're tricking your brain into thinking something. So I'll show you what I mean. Let's do this together. We are going to start by finding the middle of our paper. So this is the middle of my paper with my fingers. Is this the middle? No. Is this the middle? No. This is the middle, right? So right in the middle, I'm going to draw a little V, but it has a curve on the bottom instead of a point. And once I draw my little V, around it, I'm going to do a curve and another curve, almost like it's a curvy triangle pointing down now. Now, I want this V to be this little curvy triangle to be my nose of my polar bear. So I'm going to color in part of it, but I'm going to leave part of it white because I want it to look shiny. All right, now at the bottom of my little curvy triangle, just like with our cat, I'm going to do a little J and a backward J. Now, around my nose and mouth, I'm going to draw an oval. Just do your best. It doesn't have to be perfect. On top of that oval, I'm going to draw two cute little polar bear eyes. And it's going to be really easy. I'm going to start a little oval, and then I'll color it in partially. And another oval. Color it in just a little bit so we have our one little shiny spot. Now we have our eyes. Next, we are going to do the shape of our polar bear's head. So, we're going to start up top and do a little curve. And then I'm going to curve down, curve around, curve back. It's almost like the shape of a candy corn. Now that I have that shape, I'm going to do my ears. So we're going to do one little curve on this side and another little curve on this side. And we want to make it look like our ears are fuzzy, so we're going to do some little lines going out. All right. Now that we have that shape, we are going to do our polar bear's big back. So we're almost going to do a rainbow over the top of our polar bear. And then we want to do our polar bear's cute little polar bear paws. So on the bottom, I'm going to do a hill, almost like a rainbow shape. And then another hill on the other side. We're going to curve it around so we have the bottom of our little paws. I'm going to give some little lines for some cute little polar bear claws. And then, to connect those two shapes, we're just going to do a rainbow shape. So there we have our polar bear. Now this is where it gets interesting because we want our polar bear to start looking like it's 3D. We're creating that illusion, so this is where we become magicians. We want to make it look like we can just reach our hand into this page. So first, I'm going to create what's called a horizon line. That means it's the edge of where, when you're looking out into the distance, it's place that's furthest away. So I'm going to go over to one side, draw a little line, but when I get to my polar bear, I'm going to stop. And then on the other side, I'll continue and draw another line. All right, so now we have some ground behind our polar bear. We are going to add some other things. We talked about shadows, right? So I'm going to take a blue crayon and I'm going to start adding some shadows. So let's pretend that the light is coming from this way. So if the light's on this side, where do you think the shadows are going to be? On the other side, right? So I'm going to go in and start adding some shadows to all of the shapes just on that side. So I'll go on my head. I'll put one on my little snout. I'll put some on my ears. Now, am I just scribbling randomly wherever? No, I'm just carefully adding little shadows to one side of my bear. I'll go ahead and add a shadow to the body. I'll add a shadow under my bear and on the little paws. Now that I have shadows on my bear, I want to add some shadows below my bear on the snow, because if the light's coming from this way, there's going to be some shadows on my snow too. So I'm going to go under my bear and add some shadows. Once you have drawn your polar bear and added shadows, you can start adding other details. If you want, you can add some snowflakes. A great way to do a snowflake is to do an X, do a little circle at the end of each line, and then draw some V's on each line. You can also do a really easy snowflake by just doing a bunch of lines across each other like that. If you want, you can add some mountains or hills in the background. I think I'm going to add some shadows on my snowy hills. You can add some trees. Now remember, if the trees are far away, they'll be itty bitty. But if they're close, they're going to be a lot bigger and further down on the page, just like we did with our memory drawings. Here's your objectives. Number 1, I can use curved lines to draw my polar bear. Number 2, I can add shadows and a horizon line to create the illusion of space, which means it looks three-dimensional. En español. Número 1. Yo puedo usar líneas curvas para dibujar mi oso polar. Número 2. Yo puedo dibujar sombras y una línea horizonte para crear una ilusión de espacio.